Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Unapologetic. Now, if you're a woman, you might get a little bit offended because it's all about women this week and the relationship with men. Men have been feminized. Men, men are told that masculinity is bad, so they're not going to protect anyone. They're going to end up weak. But what happens to all that extra testosterone they've got? Well, they can use violence on someone else, they can use violence on the partner and stuff like that. There's more violence in men these days than any time ever. But why is it? Because of the feminists. It's because women are always victims. They're a victim in everything. And we're gonna go into a little bit. We're going into a deep dive this week. We're going to deep dive. We're going to look at the woman who said that Trump raped her, and we'll look at her past. We'll see what she's done. Obviously, she's a woman, and everyone's got to believe her. But why don't we talk about all the false accusations she's made against other people? Nobody ever mentions that when it has happened. And at the moment now in Yorkshire, there's a lad who I've known for over 30 years. And a neighbour said something. He's ended up having his kids took off him and been really mistreated by the police. Now, might be a one off, John. Just the other week, I was at the camp and I met a guy who's in the same situation. His missus just lied about him. He's been abused for 12 hours in a police station. And I'm just not having it. I'm not having people treating a certain class in society like it's as bad. It's as bad as the way minority communities are so-called treated according to Keir Starmer and all that. It's as bad as that, but no one says anything because the majority is white, straight men who are affected. Majority. In the two cases I stated, one of them people is black and one is white. So it's happening to them all. But the thing is these days, good evening, Nathan. Good evening, Jackie. Good evening, Emma. The thing is these days, it's like just women can't be wrong. Now, the guy who I met from South Wales who's been arrested by the police, accused of a lot of things that he hasn't done any of them. I've seen all the evidence. I've seen all the paperwork. He hasn't done anything that warranted him being 12 hours in a police station and abused. I said, if after all this, you don't get the missus, make sure you go after the police, mate, and I will back you up. Good evening, Emma. Yes, Dorothy. Unapologetic, Dorothy. Unapologetic. So yeah, and now let's roll back to Facebook. No, we won't roll back to Facebook. I'm just gonna do right in. So I mean, it wasn't until he became president that someone stepped forward. But what happens these days is women are believed no matter what. Don't have to be any evidence. If a woman says so, then that's it. Now, we all know who Lawrence Fox is. And he said something, oh, I won't sleep with that woman. And then there's been uproar on the internet. But the same women said the same thing about him, but nobody says nothing. Fuck off, women, honestly. That's why I haven't married a bird, because they're all woke. I'm sorry they are. Till you find me one who's not been indoctrinated or woke to be a victim, then I'll be happy. But they've all been like that. And Donald Trump's accuser is the same person. And also the one who accused Prince Andrew as well. I mean, he did pay 12 million, but there was no conviction. He never got convicted of anything. It was just through a woman standing up. So he's done this. And then, but nothing ever gets said about what else that woman said about other people, does it? No, it doesn't. And we should know that. If they're lying about other people, how can you be sure that fucking not lying about current events, Trump or Prince Andrew, whatever? It's just madness that everyone follows along with it. And just like the other week when I got triggered by what that stinking Alan Merritt said about my dead ex-girlfriend, a comment went up and then everyone was in uproar on Facebook. All victims, oh, need that, fuck off. Fuck off. It happens all the time, but no one says anything when it's not against men. But when it's against men, there's absolute uproar. And I've talked about this quite a few times over the past couple of years, and I see it all the time. I see the disenfranchised that men have to go through, and the most discriminated against in society is white men, like teenagers. Well, kids, white boys don't get good schooling. That's a fact. Men between certain ages in prison, how they're treated in life is really bad, and it's majority white men. But then second on the list is like English-speaking mixed Caribbeans like me. We're also disenfranchised. Maybe not as big as the white man, but we are disenfranchised and we are discriminated against. So I want to bring up a couple of things. So let's get a root Shah up. Let's get a root Shah up. That's what we'll do. Let's find a root Shah. Here she goes. Listen to this.
Now, when Councillor Hoban approached me about the nomination, about being mayor, what I said to Councillor Hoban was, given that there has been a situation where there has been an agreement that I've always honoured, I wasn't here 50 years ago. I'm not aware of a gentleman agreement. And there's something that we have to learn today. Gentlemen shouldn't get in a room, make any kind of agreements, because that is what's created the chaos today. So
you'll learn, Eddie. I am quite quick.
So, with that thick woman not understanding what a gentleman's agreement is, but you heard her, men are the problem. Men is what's caused things today. That is ingrained in society now, guys. Now, yet men built the world. Men drill the oil. There isn't women on bin women. There isn't women working on the oil rigs hardly compared to the amount of men. Men do them jobs. When there's a war, it might be a man who started it, but a man finishes it and a man pays for it. Not a woman, a man. And the stuff that you wear, your bras, your knickers, the majority of that kind of stuff has been made by men. Obviously, they didn't get it right the first time and they've tuned it up. It's all made by men. So let's fuck all the men off and you women can run the world, yeah? Is that all right? You can do all the bin men jobs. You can all be the policemen at the football matches. You can be the soldiers in the army and do all the war. Men will just stay at home and look after kids. That's what we'll do. But we'll let you take the reins now. This is what it's come to. Women equal women and all. Fuck off. Women are not physically equal to men. Men are 15 to 25% built differently. They've got more power. They're physically mighty and stuff like that. Women just haven't got these things in them. And I'm not putting you down. That is a rule of animals. The male lion is 15 to 25% bigger than the female lion. Even though the female lion does all the hunting, that male protects the pride. But we've took that out of men now. We've took it out of men that you don't protect. That's what we've done. We took it out of men that you don't protect. And look at the state of the sexual exploitation inquiries, the rape gangs going across this country, because men did not protect the daughters. Not saying everyone, and there is some men who did try to protect the daughters, but they got arrested. But if men had stood up, we wouldn't be in this shit now. So men have been feminized. Men have been demonized. Men can't say certain things. Lawrence Fox showed that. Lawrence Fox said he's not going to go with that ugly woman. And that were it. He got cancelled for saying that. Yeah, them same women said the same things against him, but no one cancels them. Well, it's not going to happen with me, guys. I'm unfucking cancelable on that issue, and I'm not going to have it. I'm really ticked off with this because it's so obviously seen by everybody, but nobody says anything. Nobody does anything. And it winds me up. It does absolutely tick me effing box. It does. Ticks me box. Yes, Jim Bob. The men are as important. You do have different abilities. I would never say that. You know, I would never say that. My mum brought up a big family. She cooked, cleaned, and she worked. And brought us all up, which is a stupendous feat, bringing the John Lawrence family up. It was a stupendous feat of doing that. And everyone has a place in society, but my place for a man is a protector, the worker, the earner, the one who goes out and provides. That's what I said. The man's job, but it's been taken across. It's been taken off men. Men are now feminized. Men are told that masculinity is evil and bad when it isn't, because that's how you protect your family. And I can, like, how do I know this? Because I've been to dozens of cases. I've talked to hundreds of people involved in child sexual exploitation. There's a lot that people don't know. You know the Ellie Williams case where she did some lying. There's other girls who've lied, but you'll never hear about the cases. There's men who didn't protect the families, and they're just as guilty. And I met one guy, and because he fell out with his missus, he didn't do the right thing and protect his family, and his kids ended up getting abused by somebody else, but not Pakistani rape gang, by somebody else, because he didn't have the balls to stick up for his family and do the right thing. Because he thought it was more important to be horrible with his ex than to do the right thing. And I met him, and he realized the kind of mistake he made. This was years after what happened, and he realized the kind of mistake. And he said to me, John, I should have grown a pair of balls then. But, like, we're not taught that in school. We're not taught that. Our masculinity thing is evil. Toxic masculinity. So they don't want to see boys being masculine. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see muscles and you're pumping out the gym. They don't want to see any of that. You know what I mean? And it's toxic masculinity. And feminism, through the Marxist regime, have brought this into our society. It's brought this into our society. And it's ingrained in the colleges, universities, and stuff like that. But I'm going to say women are fucking victims. They're the ultimate of victims, but it's not your fault. This is a course of education indoctrination that's made you like that. I'm sorry to say it has. It's made you like that. And women have to be the ultimate victims in everything. And they have to be. And I know I might offend some people, but that is true. You can research, Google up yourself about toxic masculinity and feminism. That's what it is. And it's just, and I'm going to follow in Posey Parker. That's Kelly J. Keane. I met loads of feminists and I don't like them. The kind of looks they were giving me were horrible looks, men haters and the men at the bottom of the pile. This is what I got off a lot of like feminists around that like kind of scene, and it really disturbed me. You know what I mean? I'd really seen it, and we were in the pub once, and Arlene was with me. Obviously, she can't comment on it because she's not here, but Arlene was with me, and this woman started talking, and she was at a Posey Parker demo, and she ruled that household. That man was weak. Her husband was weak. He wasn't masculine. He kept his mouth shut because she ruled the roost, and he's had his masculinity took away from him, and that's bad. That it really is. It's bad. 1 minute. Let me get me treat out tonight. Sainsbury's all butter mince pie. My treat for today. My treat for today. Look, nice little design on it there on the back end of it. You can just see it there, yeah. Snowflake-like sort of thing. So yeah, I'm going to get another clip up because we've got another woman in council who's the same as a Root Shah. Puts men down like they're nothing. There it is. I just upload it now. Thank you for joining. Please share and all that. I'm going to actually get on my phone and do a bit of sharing. Just sharing my stream there on yeah, Rhiannon. I did a little video on that Rhiannon. That's bad. That is just so bad. And no one said anything, EW, though, have they? You know, like, you'd expect at least one MP out of 650 to be kicking off about it, and everyone's been silent. You couldn't make it up, mate. You just couldn't make it up. Oh, it's still uploading. It's still uploading. So the next up is Ellen Bishop of Oldham Council. And obviously thinks that, like, it's a problem that men are speaking about child sexual exploitation like it's nothing to do with them. I'm a man, but why do dozens of victims contact me? Why don't they phone Ellen Bishop up? Why don't they phone Ellen Bishop up? Why don't they phone directly or go and speak to a woman at the police? Why don't they go and speak to a woman counsellor in their area? Now, it's not because, like, they should have to talk to women. It's women's rights. And, you know, if your kid's going to talk to you, it's great. I want kids to talk to men and women. But they go to the man because the man is a protector. The man is a protector. So they go to the man first and let him know what's going on. Then them men can stand up and stick up for us like they have done. Tommy Robinson stuck up for all them girls. No one can say he hasn't, no matter if his allegiance to Israel. He's spoke out against the rape gangs and that. Look how he's been demonized. There's dozens, hundreds of other people around the country, men, who speak out or have been demonized for speaking out. But you know, like, and what I said to Ellen Bishop, right, well, let's get her up. 58 seconds, so it's not long. We just have to put up with it for 58 seconds, but you'll get the gist of it.
Women and girls are the experts on the experiences of women and girls. So why are they constantly being spoken for and spoken over? Why is it that most people speaking on this subject at the moment are men? Are we too weak and feeble? Do we not know what we are talking about? I know the answer, and so will most of the women in here. When we speak, we will be shouted down until we are wrong. We don't understand the dangers facing working class girls and women, despite being one. It appears that yet again, men know more about being women than we do. Classic. And yet no one will see the irony of that, because these oppressive sort of patriarchal practices.
That's enough of that nasty woman that we're going to have. But so, like, I never said that like men understand it better because of men. I never said that. I get it, female. I get it that like it would work like that. But she has been indoctrinated with the masculine thing, so she doesn't want men to speak out. So let me just have a look in the chat. We've got Thingy in the chat. Now, Alan Bishop does not want... Let me just get him up. Where's he gone? Where's it gone now? Jim Bob were in the chat. There he is, Robin Hood. Ellen doesn't want you, Jim Bob, speaking up for your kids if they're abused. That's what she doesn't want. You've got to be silent, mate, because you're a man. So you stay silent and not say nothing. That's how Ellen Bishop wants it. The same goes for Alex, there at the bottom of that. Alex, you're a man, so you don't speak up, you don't say anything. You just keep silent, mate, when your daughters and your nieces and all that getting raped. You've got to shut your mouth, and leave it to people like Ellen Bishop. That's what she wants. That is what she wants. So, like, men don't want men to be part of it or anything. And sorry, as I said at the beginning, if men had balls like they should have, we wouldn't be in the predicament we're in now, because men have been indoctrinated to be not masculine, to be feminized. That's why we've got so many trans and LGBT people running around now and haven't got a clue who they are or anything. Men don't have the traditional role in society. No, they don't. And, the world is a patriarchal society, and it has been for all of time, because men are bigger and stronger, physically stronger than women. That's why. That's how it is. Like I said, the lion pride, the male lion's lazy. He doesn't go and get he don't go running down any food. He doesn't have to look after the kids, but he's got to defend that pride. So when there's other male lions, he fights to the death, guys, to protect his family to the death. But men don't fight to the death now. Men are weak. Men are weak because they've been indoctrinated and put down by these feminism and Marxist things to break up our society. Men are weak. They're weak now. They're not strong anymore. So there's going to be more stuff going on. More kids are going to get raped because these men won't stand up. And Ellen Bishop, like, do you take calls at 2 o'clock in the morning off rape gang survivors? Do you? By any chance? I do. 3 o'clock in the morning. All hours of the day. And I meet up with them quite regular. And we talk on the phone. We do stuff. So why are they coming to me when I'm a man? Why aren't they coming to you? You can't be trusted, Ellen Bishop. You're part of the Labour Party. You cannot be trusted for a start. And I don't think them girls can see that you're the type of person to defend them. That's why they come to other people, because they see them other people online defending people's free speech and talking about things that other people want. So that's what men do, and that's what people like me do. I'm not afraid to talk about political correctness. I'm not afraid to point my finger at a minority community. I'm not afraid to point my finger at that person or call them out. I'm not afraid of that. But a lot of other men are, because you get cancelled and you get shut down. So Ellen Bishop, stick your woman thing up your arsehole. When I get on that council, it'll be a lot different. People won't, it'll be a lot different that you won't be able to cancel me. You won't be able to say things to put me down or cancel me. It's just never going to work with me. Might work with some of the others, but it's not going to work with me. And I'll always be truthful and tell you just how it is. Ellen Bishop. So the way them two women talk about men is unbelievable. Arut Shah's the leader of our council, and she talks like men. That's how she talks about men. I live with my nephew, and I'm always moaning at him about how men are treated in society, and they're treated like bloody dirt. They're treated like dirt. And if you'd have heard my mate's story who come down the other week from Yorkshire, you know, your hair would be standing on end. And this is what he's had to go through because of a woman lying. Because of a woman lying. Also, the lad from South Wales, the shit he's had to go through because a woman's lied, and she's not been, even though he's got evidence that she's lied, she's not in any trouble. He's the one who can't go back to the house. He's the one who's got to go back to the police station. He's the one who's got to go to court, and he hasn't done nothing wrong. He hasn't done anything wrong. And I'm just not having this bullshit in society where men are put down like that. I'm not. And, you know, like I said, if men weren't so feminized and indoctrinated, we wouldn't be in the mess we're in now, because they would have stuck up for the families and they would have kept together with the families. Families are so broken. The state doesn't want you to have the nuclear family. The Marxists, the Black Lives Matter people, they don't want the nuclear family. They just want you to shag anyone and have any kid. That's what they want, which breaks up the family, and then you've got no protection. You've got no protection. Remember, the majority of these girls had to do with care and in the care system because the families are brought down and they're easier to target. You know, I don't know how many times that I've got to say the same fucking thing to you lot out there. And I've repeated these things many times over. The broken family unit. The man's been feminized, drinks beer and fucking smokes weed and takes cocaine. He's not bothered about his family. The woman's just as mentally deranged. The kids are growing up being indoctrinated in school to be she-males or whatever, and then have different names. And then they end up in care and they're just easy targets. They're easy targets. I would say as a good estimate guess this, because I've been to the court case, I would say 90% of the cases involving girls are to do with girls who've had something to do with the care system, who've had something to do with the care system, or on that kind of line. And, you know, like, it's been obviously that this thing is happening. No one's done nothing about it. I just can't believe it, me. I can't believe how many men haven't got a fucking pair of balls these days. I can't believe it, guys. I really can't. And honestly, I can't. Just let me get a drink. I'll tell you what. You can listen to the sheep noise for two minutes while I get my drink. Yeah, it won't be a sec. Here we go. Right, let's see if I can get a couple of videos. Let's see what I can play as a video. I don't want to hear that Ellen Bishop again. I might put Glenn Saffer up in a minute. So yeah, we're in the right state, guys. We're in the right state. I want to find out more. So as soon as Trump came in, 18 women would come forward. 18 women. But, you know, like, you know, I'm not saying that it didn't happen, But we've got to look at the validity of some of these people. And that woman who passed away, come on, John, I keep talking about things and I should be able to get links up and show you. E. Jean Carroll testified in the civil rape and defamation case against former President Trump. And they just all came out of the woodwork all at once. And, you know, like, the left hate him. So, you know, I wouldn't think twice about if he was a lefty, then you'd tell these people to come out and say false allegations. And the thing is, even when any of these women, 18 women, when they get fined that they lied or there's nothing happens to them, guys. Nothing happens to them. Nothing's happened to any of them women. And some of them have already proved that they've lied, but nothing's happened to them. So why aren't they sent down? And why did he still go against Trump? And then it was a civil case. So he was liable for sexual assault. Now, that does not say he committed it. But a lot of you dummies don't get it. You lefties, you just don't get it. And you always say that he raped. He's got 36 counts or many counts of rape. He hasn't. It's a civil case because he got thrown out of the real court system because it was all bullshit. You just don't get it. But if you know the American system, if you go to the civil courts, you can sue someone. You could, let's say you could rape somebody, then you can sue them. The rapist can sue them. So that's the criminal justice system is messed up in, the civil justice system is messed up. And I'm just not having it, me. I'm not having it. It's a load of bullshit, a lot of this. It's a load of bullshit. And, you know, 30 years ago, and sure he comes forward when he gets made president. What's all that about? The lefties have been like that to her. Come on, just say something. Nothing will happen to you, then it'll make him look really bad. So say something. And that's what's happened to two men in England who I know, and one is black and one is fucking white. That's what's happened to them two. Because a woman said things and lied. Honestly, I'm just not having it. Fuck off. Honestly, I'm not having it, me. Not having it. And you know what did I have to go through? I can't prove this anywhere because Arlene's passed away and she probably wouldn't say, but she threatened to get the media on me if I didn't go back with her. That's what she did with me. And yet, like, you've got Alan Merrick going round saying I killed her. Then there's other people who support him. Yeah, you bullied her and abused her. Well, you know, like, I'm not saying I got abused, but like, you know, like, if I threatened to Jackie, all right, Jackie, if you don't go with me, I'm going to go to media and spill the beans. That's what it's like, guys. That's what I had to go through, honestly. So fuck off, all you who like jump on the bandwagon like you have done. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm cutting down. I'm going to cut down me, and I'm going to cut down the stuff that I do about child sexploitation and things with me, and I'm going to cut it down because I'm fucking sick of you all. I am sick of you all. I am. I'm sorry. Some of you might feel offended, but it's tough shit. It's unapologetic. I'm not apologizing to anyone. But that's what I had to go through. And another thing I had to go through, and you can prove this if you know Mank Dave, you know James Goddard, you know James Buckley, and you know Joel Taylor. Ask them what Arlene were calling me because they had male friends. She was calling me gay all the time in front of my mates, and she meant it. She didn't like say it as a joke. She meant it all the time because they had male friends, and I went out with male friends. Honestly. So, you know, like, just recently, weeks and months ago, I made a comment on someone's post. something had happened, and I was a bit shocked at what he did on the video, and something's been burnt down. I just said, have you been to police? A couple of weeks later, somebody who I've only recently met, got a daft name on Facebook, he abused me in messages for having a friend on Facebook who a woman doesn't like or has fell out with a male friend, and he abused me. He abused me on messages saying things like, you know what you're talking about, you're supposed to be a counsellor, you're not standing up for the right person, so I've got to stand up for the woman straight away without even looking at the whole situation. Well, I'm not doing. It's not going to work with me. It's just not going to work with me. I mean, 90%, 99% of the people who say anything against me will never say it to me face or anything. They just say it behind my back. That's what human beings are like. And this is what them TikTokers are like as well. They say things like accuse you of rape. Three men, and one of them's in the chat now. One of them's in the chat, Robin Hood, yeah? And accusations, and this has come through Glenn Saffer. Glenn Saffer knows about this. Accused these 3 men of raping a girl at the PTSD camp. That's what they did. Now, it's unbelievable because one of them's never been to the camp. One of them is gay and one of them lives at the camp. And they were saying that these 3 men had raped this woman or whoever it were, which they hadn't. First thing I did, I said to guys, don't go back on TikTok. You contact the police. Let the police deal with it. I did an email to them. There's been no further action on it, but we did let these people know that we contacted the police, and that's what we're going to do over things like this. And because it was rape and a woman, everyone were on the woman's side and all that. She's fucking been lying. She's been lying, guys, to get other people in trouble. And that stinking Glenn Saffer and all them numpties, wet wipes who were around him, fucking like, yeah, we'll get on it. We'll get on it. That's what they're like. You fucking bunch of wet wipes, honestly. Bunch of wet wipes. Now, you're going to say anything about me? Yeah, you're going to get it. Say anything about that camp, you're going to get it. And that's what they said about the PTSD camp. They were doing TikTok guides and saying it on live stream that a woman had been raped at the camp by 3 men. One who's never been there, one who's gay, and one who lives there. This is what they were saying. And because it was rape and a woman, everyone was on board and jumping up and all that. Look, honestly, you just couldn't make it up. And it was all false. It was all lies. It was all lies. Am I not correct there, Jim Bob? It was all lies. So they used a woman to bring 3 men down and the name of that camp down. And it was all lies, guys. That's my proof that I want to show you that we're in a horrible society where men are treated like shit and women are glorified. Every one of them box-ticking arseholes who were MPs, all glorified. Oh, I feel upset. James Goddard, he went to a court case to do with whatever her name was. I'll get her name in a bit. And on the video, he's talking to her, and she's fine. She's walking away. And then on that video, you're nothing. I can handle you. Next minute, oh, no, I felt threatened. And oh, fuck off, felt threatened. You know what I mean? Who are they? Anna Soubry. Anna Soubry. There's video footage out there where she's not afraid. She's doing her thing, walking away. No one's threatening her. James Goddard's just talking to her. Then afterwards, a couple of days later, a couple of weeks later, she comes out that she felt threatened because the police have been round to her. Oh, listen, just say this and, we'll get you in court. And even though it didn't happen, we'll put him through court. Honestly, you fucking wet wipes, you MP stinking wipe asses. And I'm not even had hardly any of a drink. Lidl Deluxe, all butter mince pies, 149, tried and tested by me and the dog. Oh, I'm getting some. I'm getting some. I'm going to send my sister, and then I'm going to tell her she's got to get some for me and my nephew. We want mince pies. We want mince pies. 1 minute, guys. We want mince pies. See who we can have on here now. Let's see who we can have on. We'll do the Glenn Saffer. We'll do the Glenn Saffer special.
Look, I fought for this fucking country, right? I fought for this country. I'm a fella.
I was never been a veteran, right?
I fought for this fucking country, right? I fought for this country.
I was never been a veteran, right? And I was.
This is Glenn Saffer. Is this a man you can trust? Is this a man you want playing a role in remigration protests? He openly calls for violence against people whose politics he disagrees with. He threatens to send his black and mixed-race friends round to the houses of nationalists. I don't believe you can trust him, and I certainly don't believe a man like this should be campaigning for the safety of women and children, given what you're about to find out in this video. Buckle up, it's time for the truth about Saffer.
The nonce allegations and accusations. What you're about to hear is a message that was sent by an anonymous source to Glenn Saffer. Forwarded, why don't you back off, you nonce, or karma will bite you in the ass. Stop trying to chase the fame. You're a liability to the main cause and to all the way up. Stop trying to be a glory hunter and a selfish cunt for your own purpose and think of the bigger picture. For fuck's sake, you're a wrong'un, and need to sit silent before someone gets wind of your sex with a minor charge and that fucks up the man we can't mention. Use your fucking brain, ya prick. Stop looking for your own fame, bollocks, use your head, ya thick cunt. Because I'm sick of knowing the truth and others are too. Fuck off and do what's right. For the bigger picture. Because your past will jeopardize everything. By all accounts, Glenn Saffer was charged and convicted in 1984 for sex with a minor. In layman's terms, that makes him a nonce. At the end of 2018 or the start of 2019, Saffer's daughter wrote a distressing post on Facebook saying that her dad was a pedophile. She then received a phone call off a certain somebody demanding she take the post down as it could ruin his movement. The last time allegations surfaced and were spoken about was a few years ago. However, due to tragic death of Glenn's son, Saffer went AWOL, but the allegations remained to people in the know. For context, a couple of my anonymous sources grew up with Saffer in East London. Glenn disappeared from London in about 1983-1984 as West Ham fan. He then resurfaced in Norwich as a Tottenham fan. Very, very bizarre. So if these allegations are lies and he hasn't been convicted, then he'll have no problem releasing his criminal record, will he?
Glenn.
Right, I can only do like 1 minute of that nasty man. But no, so that's what happens when you're a woman, especially a woman in power, like these MPs that we've got. That's what happens. You can get, they'll say something, they feel threatened, then the person gets cancelled. It happened to Lawrence Fox, guys. He said something like on the... Right, hold on. Fox, an actor turned politician, drew condemnation after asking what self-respecting man would climb into bed with her during a live show on 26th of September. But then women have said as worse of things about him. Women can say whatever they want about a man and they will never get cancelled. But if a man talks like this, then he'll get cancelled. That's the way that it goes. And Ofsted, Ofcom says that he breached the rules. It's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. And, men out there, right, and women, like women talking between themselves would say whether a guy's attractive or not. Men would do the same. He just said it on a live. Fair enough. It's a normal thing to say. Some women I won't go with because, like, they're just not, I wouldn't. Like they might look like an Oldham councillor like Ellen Bishop. They might look something like that, and I won't go with anything that looks like that. But he got cancelled for saying that. And you know, there's other incidents of that kind of thing, and it was Ava Evans. He's apologised to Ava Evans for demeaning comments on GB News. And, you know, I wouldn't apologise to her because you want to hear some of the stuff that Ava Evans has said about men in general and all these women, what they say about men in general. But they're all right to say that, but like man can't say nothing. Well, man is going to say something. This man here, when I get in that council, is going to rip new butty holes for every councillor in there, whether they're female or male. And I don't think much of Oldham Council. I don't think much of the independents. I don't think much of the Tories, that what's left of them. I don't think much of the Lib Dems. I don't think much of the Labour Party. I'm more inclined to think more of the independent group, me, than I am the rest of them people in the council. But even some of them are shady. But, you know, we need new councils. That's why we're standing in elections, to be that new kind of councillor. You know what I mean? And you're not going to be able to cancel me or anything like that, guys. You're not going to be able to cancel me over my comments, because I'll always say them comments. You know what I mean? And if someone says, well, John, you say naughty things about these kind of people, but them kind of people say naughty things about other kinds of people, it's just mad. It's just mad. So I'm really not on it today, guys. I'm sorry. I think a lot of women have been brainwashed and indoctrinated with this feminist thing and, you know, like anti-men thing and toxic masculinity. I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of them. And I met these people on the demos. Like I said, I follow Posey Parker, Glasgow, Trowbridge, London, and like, there's loads of feminists who are horrible. When they look at me, they're like, look, oh, you're a man. We don't do men. You know, like, that's what they're like. And that's not society. It just really isn't. And, you know, you've been brainwashed, girls, ladies and girls. You've been brainwashed. You've been indoctrinated with these Marxist views on, like, woke views that, like, the nuclear family's bad. And all these women now who like have abortions, they don't give two shits about that they're starting a life in. All they care about is themselves. And, you know, that like ignorant and selfish, that they know they're getting pregnant, but they don't do nothing about it. Then they want to abort the baby afterwards. So what kind of world do we live in, guys? What kind of world do we live in? And I was in Manchester at the Tory conference last year, and there was a white dude, middle-aged white dude, speaking about abortions, and there was a team with him, men and women in the team, handing out leaflets, and a woman just shouted from the side, "We're not listening to you because you're a middle-aged white man." And I'm like, I couldn't believe it. He got abused, and then two teenagers were laughing at him when he was trying to say about the babies, and they said that they didn't believe that baby is a living being while it's in the belly. This is what two teenage girls said, guys, and that's what the woman said to that bloke. I went ballistic, me. I went over to her, I pointed at her, and who are you talking to? Can't talk like that. That's ignorant, and that's bullying. That's what I said to her. It's bullying. That you can't talk. If he'd have said something like that to you, you would have wanted him cancelled and the police on him. And I just made her. As soon as I turned around and started like conversing with her, she run off. She run off. Let me just say that. She run off, and I were right over her in her face. I was shouting over her because she was bullying a guy who was talking about abortion. And she were bullying him. So I did shout over her. I screamed at her face that she's a bully. And that if the same thing happened, roles reversed, then there would be hell to pay. But she's going to get away with it. And she did. She never got arrested or never got told off or anything. But if I would have said that to a woman who was speaking, somewhere on that lines, I'd have been absolutely cancelled. Absolutely cancelled. And people have got to see that this is going on in society now. A demonization of men. Demonization of men. But who's going to do all the bin jobs? Who's going to work all the oil refineries? Who's got? Well, we haven't got any oil refineries. We haven't got any coal. We haven't got any steel. So are you women going to police the football matches? Is that what you're going to do? Are we just going to have all women policing the Palestine marches in London? Let's see how that goes. Let's see how that goes. But then again, on the other hand, certain sections of the community, nobody says nothing when women are put down. So let me just prove a point to everyone here, honestly. Just let's get another video up if I can find it. Another media asset. Have I got it here? Obviously not. This is what's mad about the how we live these days. So, you know, I've been going on about white people mainly. Mentioned mixed race people, black people, yeah, but whew, let me just get it up. It's just uploading. Hope everyone's all right. Thank you for tuning in. Unapologetic tonight. I'm at the Victoria Hotel, so I'll be streaming from 12. Anyone wants to, if people want to come down, don't just beep going past. Pull up in your car a bit further down the road. Come and stand with us for 10, 15 minutes. Come and have a brew or a fag or whatever. Come stand with us at the Victoria Hotel. And I'm just bothered about the crimes that are being committed. We've had a man raped in the area by three black men, raped a man on Failsworth Canal. We've had the paedophile hunters have caught a guy who's been in the hotel 2 months trying to meet young girls. And just some months ago, near that area, 2 men were arrested who had been here again a couple of months and living in an HMO in Chatterton who've been trying to meet young girls. Elusive Child Protection Unit on Facebook. It's all the information's on there. And what this group does, once they get somebody, they follow that person to court. When there's a court appearance, they've got someone there taking notes, and they follow the court appearance right to the logical end when these people get convicted or whatever. So, yeah, I'm concerned about just them 3 incidents. Them are just 3 incidents that I know about that I'm really concerned about. So people who've only been here 2 months are already on social media trying to meet your kids, trying to meet your children. They've only been here 2 months, remember. Not one person in Oldham Council has said anything about any of this. All it is, oh no, these people are doctors and engineers. Well, they're not. They're not. They're not doctors and engineers. Anyway, we've got 3 minutes of a little video, and I want you to listen to it. It's important, this, because this is on the other hand. When it's a minority community, nobody says nothing about men. John Lawrence, National Housing Party. So this is an article about Arut Shah, who's Oldham Council leader at the moment. When she first ran to be a councillor, she got a campaign of abuse put against her. People said that she slept her way to the top and all that lot. And if you looked at the newspaper reports and anyone who said anything, you definitely would think it's someone white. But it wasn't. It was the Labour men who were Muslim from her own community who did it to her. So she unsuccessfully run for the St Mary's ward, then she run in South Chadderton, which is a majority white area, where she got in. With no Muslim men to put her down. Again, just before she got council leader, a car was firebombed. And again, if you would have looked at the newspaper reports and all that, you'd definitely think it was a white guy. Then Raja Mia put out a video which clearly shown a brown person torching a car, somebody from her own community. 2 men were arrested, nothing's ever been said since. To people, so it just happens. Now, you know, she must be unlikable. Let's fast forward to elections this year, 2025 May election, called Aisha Kausa was running in St Mary's ward. Let's have a look. So she broke away from the Labour Party because of October the 7th, went with the independent group, which is a second majority in Oldham Council. And when she ran to be a candidate, on Facebook came a page making her look to be a prostitute. And again, there's nothing in mainstream media. Mainstream media didn't even do anything on this. It was only social media and people within Oldham like me using it. Everybody knew it was men in her own community who did it to her. Just the Labour Party were all Muslim men. And, you know, twice, so it's happened to them candidates. Now, she got one of the biggest independent votes ever in the St Mary's ward. Well got elected, highest number. And so she should, because everyone was so pissed off with seeing this crap in Oldham and no one's saying anything, nobody does anything. All that does happen is when media reports out, you make it look like it's a white man, but it isn't. These 2 incidents, these 2 councillors, it's not white men who've abused them or said they've slept the way to the top. It's men from her own community, and nobody says anything. I just wish you fucking feminists and liberals had as much energy that you shout about other people and would shout out about this. John Lawrence, National Housing Party, never going to stop, always going to speak out. Political correctness does not run good with me. Thank you very much. So, men from their own community, no one said nothing, no one's been arrested, no one's been convicted. I can guarantee that was a white guy or someone like me, we'd get a conviction of something and we'd put through courts and we'd get cancelled. They'd try cancelling us. But do you not see the hypocrisy? They don't say anything about that. But the feminists and all that, they'll pick on like Lawrence Fox because he's a straight white male. They pick on that preacher guy at Manchester Tory conference because he was a straight white middle-aged man. The white man is a demon. The white man is evil. Is evil. You just couldn't make it up. The media, Oldham media, Manchester Evening News, they all made it out like it was a white guy who'd done all this, but it wasn't. It were men from her own community. That's who did it. Pakistani men from their own community have abused them 2 women online, and nothing's got said. If I would have done that, I'd have been in court. I'd have been facing jail time, me. 100% I know I would be facing jail time, Dad. So how come no one says nothing to them? Political correctness. We don't want to upset the minorities in Oldham. We really don't. Let's not upset them, and we'll let them get away with doing all these horrible things. So on one end, the man is evil and all that lot. But on the other end, they don't say anything when it's a minority person. You just couldn't make it up. This is a shit we have to run through in the UK now, guys. And it's just not on. It's just not on. If you think that I'm going to put up with that, I'm not doing. And I'll call it out when I'm in the council chamber. I'm going to speak about that. When I become a councillor, I'm going to speak about that. And I'm going to go to the council chamber and ask why these men haven't been arrested or jailed. You know, their ass is jailed. They're not, because we don't want to upset the minority community. And I'm never, ever going to change my mind on that. I've spoken out against political correctness for years, guys. And I'm never going to not speak out for it. Oh, what's come up on my memory there? Oh, 1 year ago, my mum. Oh my God, I would have to get this up. Oh my Lord. My mum. My mammy Pat. My mammy Pat. Me mum. Just looking at my memories. Oh, there's another one. Mum buzzing on one of Arlene Jane's cooked frozen liver and onion meals. So it's a year, guys, a year that my mum passed away. A year, an absolute year, guys. It stunned me a little bit, that looking at my memories. It did. It stunned me a little bit there. Absolutely stunned me. I knew it was coming up, but that's well, like brought me down a little bit. That. Oh yeah, it is EW. That's good. That. Doing a little bit of Activision tomorrow before the demo at 12. Oh, guys, it's gonna be. It's not viral stuff because my stuff don't really go viral, but we're doing something tomorrow. Me and my mate Mel, I'm gonna do something tomorrow before 12 o'clock, and hopefully I will have some kind of proof to show you that I've done this thing. But that's tomorrow. They're exciting. When Big John does something, I don't do anything by halves, guys. I go right to the front, me, and take on the giant, and that's what I'm doing tomorrow before 12 o'clock. I'm going to the front and I'm going to take on the giant. That's what I'm going to. John versus the giant. Little John versus the giant. That's what it's going to be tomorrow. But thank you for tuning in. Oh, there's only a few viewers on. It's never as good when you know, like if people saw fighting and stuff like that and lefties kicking off, that's when your views go up, and it's just, oh God, it's sad that that's what we like to see on social media, is kicking off, auditors shouting at other people. That's what people like to see, and that's what gets you the views. Well, you know, I've done a little bit of that, not a lot, but I just thought that, like, I speak sense and people understand what I'm saying. And I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to apologize to anyone ever again, me. I'm not, because it's too late for apologizing. You know, I blamed men for not sticking up for the families. I blame men for being feminine weak. But obviously because of feminism and the women stuff and all that lot, you know, and I just want things to be more equal. You know, now, what do you want? Do you want a society that's run by men, or do you want a society that's run by women? I don't care if we're sure that's running of that society, but women have got to understand that men have a place in society, no matter what you think, but they want to erase that place That's why we have all this woke thing. That's why Black Lives Matter. They want to destroy the nuclear family. You destroy that nuclear family, then all the individual people in that family are easy targets. That's what they are, guys, are easy targets. So we don't want to break up the nuclear family. The best way to raise somebody is within the nuclear family, you know, and that's what I'm always going to go on. Always going to go on that. I can't believe it's 10:05 already, and I've been absolutely ranting. All right, yes, and I'll do that right now, Mark. Thank you for reminding me, and I'll cut it up anyway. I'll cut it up into a little short, but thank you, Gosha, a friend of Mark's. She's made a nice donation to the PTSD camp. Thank you very much. She's coming to the camp at Christmas, and she's gonna be. But I talked to her. And I've asked her to bring some Polish sausages. And so that's what's going to be at the camp at Christmas. But thank you very much, Gorsha. Thank you very much. That money will go a long way. If you don't know, let me just get some pictures up if I can find them. Been a lot of work going on at the camp. And if you talk to Mark, Gorsha, he'll explain what the clubhouse is like. But we've had big extensions on the clubhouse. Let's just get the pictures up. So let me just get this. New flooring down in the camp, and the bit directly outside, we've had it all sealed off around, and there's windows in as well, because it does get cold, especially over the Christmas time. But you can easily fit 30 or more people in that room. Let's see what else it looks like. Have we got a bigger one than it? No, we haven't. That's oh, I think that's Middleton. It looks like Middleton. No, it can't be Middleton. Trowbridge, that was. But yeah, so a lot of work going on at the camp, but we've had an extension on roof, and it's sealed off on all sides, so it'll be nice and lovely. It'll be lovely in there, even in winter. So that's going on at the camp, and I'll be there Remembrance Weekend. Gorsha and Mark coming up at Christmas, and again, thank you very much, Gorsha, for that donation. Thank you, love, very much appreciated. But like I said, the building at the camp is going on all the time, and all that costs money. We've had a new flooring. I know it's blue. Look, so it's them like hard foam tiles that look like fitting like jigsaws. That's nice. The old one was a bit battered and that, but it looks lovely. That microwave on that little thing at bottom, kitchen. It's lovely. I can't wait. I'm going there in November, so that'll be my little area. We'll definitely be having that wood log fire on. So it's Remembrance Weekend. Hang on a minute. Remembrance Weekend. 8th, 9th of November. And I'm hoping to be at the camp from the 7th, if not earlier. And to spend them days and hopefully come back probably the 11th. Because there's something on the 10th. We've got to go to a court appearance on 10th. But yeah, so that's where I'll be at the camp. So if you've been before, You're more than welcome to come over that weekend. I think Tommy Trump's coming up. He's got his own camper van, but he's going to be coming up over the weekend. And the guy who I talked about in South Wales, he's going to be coming as well, Gareth. He'll be there at the camp. But anyway, end of the show. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My name's John Lawrence. And you're listening to Unapologetic, and I have been pretty unapologetic. I don't really apologize now. I got triggered and I just don't apologize. I don't see why I should, tell you the truth, because people are just horrible and bullying and stuff like that. And you know, like, I've just had enough of it. So this is the times when sometimes I wish that I weren't running in elections and I could still be an activist. Then I can go to town on these people 10 times over. But I've got to be nice. I want to be a local election candidate and I want to be a councillor. So I've got to be nice with everybody in my area, even the people I disagree with. I'm going to get some people I disagree with. I'm working on actually getting a proper woke lefty on my side who lives in my area. Once I can do that, I can get anybody on side with me. My name's John Lawrence. This is Unapologetic. God bless. Good night. And I'll see you Tuesday, 8 p.m. We've got a couple of special guests on. We've got a banging guest on the show Tuesday. World famous, guys. World famous. Good night.